And of course a rookie, but that experience of driving at this circuit will help. We'll have green light in just a few seconds time, and qualifying here in Austria gets underway. So off we go, and it is Trummer that leads, Cecotto behind him, Rossi comes out third, Marcello the next man. So all the drivers who were fast this morning. Leal's another one. Nazar, though, is out before his teammate. The two Russian time cars sit and wait, waiting for their gap on track, choosing not to rush things. An alternate strategy to almost every other driver. Everybody launching out on track. And now Evans chooses to go, so not that much of an alternate strategy. I thought they were going to bide their time for 5 or 10 minutes. And everyone seemingly getting out on track, probably hoping to beat the rain, which could arrive at any second. I was talking to Lewis Hamilton just a few moments ago, 2006 GP2 champion, and he said one of the joys about driving this track that he's found today is the fact that you can be driving through glorious sunshine, and you'll come to a corner and it'll be throwing it down with rain. And the car gets very slippery, you have a little bit of fun, and by the time you exit that corner, it's glorious sunshine again. He says it's great. The random element makes it very enjoyable. So that's what the 2006 GP2 champion thinks. And it is, of course, the first time that the GP2 series has been on track here in Austria, close to the town of Spielberg. It's about a 2-hour drive from Vienna, 1 hour from Graz. And it really is the most wonderful part of the world, absolutely beautiful. It's like a chocolate box. But there, I think you can see the rain falling behind the trees. Could be in two completely different places. There is Connor Daly. Daly was fast this morning as well, actually. So too Harry Anzo. This could be a really close qualifying session. The trick here, there are just 9 corners on track. That's your lot. And of course, the difficulty is any small mistake you make in a corner has a knock-on effect through the next straight. And there are so few opportunities for you to try and get that disadvantage back that you really have to be perfect. You will push the limits, try and carry more speed through each corner, brake as late as you can for each corner. Never more so is that important than at a track with limited corners, such as here. So Cecotto already coming through to complete his second lap, and thus will start his first proper flyer to set a provisional pole time. Johnny Cecotto then down the start finish straight and up the hill. And runs deep, and that is the problem that you're going to have at this track. Cecotto now should heed position to the likes of Trummer behind. Needs to give that position to Trummer. Although Trummer seemingly still warming up his tyres and does not want to go past him. That's an odd choice. So maybe Trummer got that turn 1 a little bit wrong as well and opts to sit behind Cecotto, who's still weaving. Perhaps then these slightly, I say slightly harder, they're running the softs for qualifying, mediums were run in practice this morning, but of course the construction of these tyres is a little harder this year than it was last year. Perhaps 2 laps then it's taking for these tyres to come in to achieve their correct temperature. Everybody seemingly backing off. One man who's not through Sector 1 is Negrão. Great first sector from him. Canamassas also, who is at the top of the timesheets at the moment with a 1:23.6. As Rossi backs off, Berton has to back off. Everybody backing off. Very strange first few laps here. And of course everyone's bunching up. Nobody's getting a clear run. Nobody's getting a clear lap. As Trummer now goes to the top on a 122.827. But Negrão is clearly looking racy. He's had a purple first sector, purple second sector. Quaifov chops him off going through the penultimate corner. Down the start-finish straight is Zawa to the top on an 18.2. Over the line, Negrão will go to the top on a 117.552. Could have been so much more. But Quaif Hobbs was on a quick lap as well for him, a 119. But that's still 2 seconds off as Quaif Hobbs runs deep through turn 1. Now on board with Mitch Evans. And Evans, this is a lap just to launch himself. Canamassas does a 19.2 for Sector 1, that's good. Probably should keep an eye out for Sergio Canamassas right now. It's Negrão at the top of the timesheets, 117.552. We're right on board though with Mitch Evans. There is Canamassas. The time starting to pick up now. Arthur Peak, purple through Sector 2. Jolyon Palmer with a good lap as well. 19.1 for Sector 1. Marcello though to the top. Rossi now to the top, a 116.8. Sergio Canamassas. One corner remains for him to take the top spot away from Alexander Rossi. 1 minute 16.8, the benchmark we have. Canamassas, 116.653. Next man to watch out for will be Jolyon Palmer. A 19.1 followed by a 33.9. We ride on board though with Stoffel Vandoorne. Vandoorne has just gone purple through Sector 2. Palmer should go to the top with his lap time. He'll cross the line any second now. I'll keep you abreast of where he slots in. But keep your eyes on Stoffel Vandoorne. Beautiful penultimate corner. Palmer, though, can only do P2. Vandoorne, though, with a lovely lap down the start-finish straight for Stoffel Vandoorne, and it's P1, a 116.243. Now who's fast? Cecotto currently doesn't have a position. Now he does. Cecotto jumps up. Coletti jumps up to P5. Marcello's down to P6. But it's purple Sector 1 and green Sector 2. Meanwhile, De Jong Nazar is also fast. Here's Marcello. P6 for Marcello at the moment. We'll get a little tow down the start-finish straight from Trummer. And one of this morning's fastest men goes straight back to the top. It's Marcello from Vandoorne. Oh, and Daly going a little wide as Cecotto goes to the top. Nazar slots into third. It's all go here in Austria. Cecotto is fastest for the time being. Marcello is second. Nazar is third. Vandoorne is fourth. Leal is fifth. Then it's Rossi, Peak, Canamassas. Palmer's down in ninth, and Coletti is 10th. We watch Rio Haryanto. That's Jolyon Palmer, that's our man. Riding on board with him, let's see how he takes the final corner. Wow, really hits that curb hard. Down the straight, Haryanto goes 6th. Cecotto, meanwhile, the fastest man in this session so far, has just improved. His first sector is a personal best, a 19.0. His second sector, though, is off. 2 seconds off. So the man we really want to be watching is Jolyon Palmer. Palmer down in P13 has just done a 19.0 for Sector 1. Nazar's coming through that final corner. He had a slow middle sector as well. Daniel Abt is on a fast lap too. There is Abt. There is Negrão. There is Cecotto. There is Abt. Here he comes now. Abt, who did a 19.0 for Sector 1 and a 33.4 for Sector 2. Palmer, though, I'll tell you, did a 33.3 for Sector 2. And Coletti is faster than them both. Abt could go top with this. It's a blistering lap. It's 5th, though. Not a great final sector. What's Palmer got up his sleeve? Keep an eye for Palmer. That's Riquelme. Here's Palmer, and keep an eye on Coletti. Palmer then across the line. It's first, but what about Coletti in the yellow and red racing engineering car? Down the start-finish straight, Coletti for the top. No! It's a 15.8 for Coletti, so Palmer, championship leader, with an amazing final sector of 23.1, was 4/10 quicker than Coletti through there. And without that 4/10 difference, it would be Coletti on the provisional pole. With 10 minutes gone here in Austria, it is Palmer from Coletti, from this man, Johnny Cecotto, who is improving. An 18.9 Sector 1, the 33.2 Sector 2. It's a great lap from Johnny Cecotto. Through the haze he comes of the dust, kicked up and takes provisional pole back from Jolyon Palmer. So now it's Cecotto. Palmer as Nazar jumps up to third and relegates Coletti to fourth. Now we pick up Stoffel Vandoorne, a 19.0 for Sector 1, it's good. Haryanto's done an 18.9 in Sector 1. They're the two fastest men on track at the moment on this current rotation. Vandoorne currently sits fifth, Haryanto is 11th. Their time to beat is Cecotto, a 1:15.312. And they hit that bump, and watch how it unsettles the car, but Vandoorne rides it beautifully now through the final corner. Lovely stuff from Stoffel Vandoorne, super committed. 15.3 to beat, it's a 15.6, hold back for Haryanto over the line. It's a 16.0, so Vandoorne up to third, Haryanto up to sixth, and Nazar's going for it again. Here's a replay then of who is this through the final corner. It's Regalia. And a lock-up from Negrão. Meanwhile, Trummer has not set a competitive lap time. Oh, as Nazar through the final corner gets it all wrong. And it was a great lap from him up to that point. It was a 19.0, a 33.2. I tell you what, Nazar was this close to certainly taking front row. Possibly even provisional pole. Too much though, kept it stuck in, slid wide. And I tell you what, if he doesn't make it to F1, he'll have a career in global rallycross. Vandoorne, gunning it. Wow, this is a big lap from Vandoorne. Palmer's on one as well. Palmer's about to cross the line, so too Vandoorne. Here he comes, Vandoorne goes into P2. What about Palmer? Palmer takes P2 away from him, and it's all in that final sector. I'm telling you, wow, amazing stuff. Cecotto somehow is holding on at the top. 1:15.312 Cecotto, Palmer 1:15.352, Vandoorne 1:15.481. The top three split by 0.169. Nothing in it. So 17.5 minutes on the clock here. This looks like Riquelme, and Riquelme's on not a bad lap at all, or he wasn't anyway. His middle sector was poor. Arthur Peak has just improved to go 9th, so it is Cecotto from Palmer. Vandoorne is third, Leal is fourth, Nazar fifth, Coletti sixth, Marcello seventh, Haryanto 8th, Peak 9th, and Rossi 10th. And that was a pretty crazy first 12, 13 odd minutes here in Austria. Trying to stay on top of all of that. Here's a replay of Cecotto running wide. I'm really seriously thinking anybody in the top 10 right now, possibly top 11 with Apt. And there's Cecotto getting it wrong through the final corner as well. Anyone in the top 10, top 11, maybe top 12 as things stand, I reckon could take pole. Any one of Cecotto, Palmer, Vandoorne, Leal, Nazar, Coletti, Marcello, Haryanto, Peak, Rossi, Apt. Any one of them. Riquelme. Ultimately, they are within a second of that pole. Hey, what about Evans, though? Out on track by himself. P15 right now. 19.2 for Sector 1. That's about 3/10 off. Oh, and there's Debris out on track. Where is that? Ah, is that on the run down to turn 3? It is. Yeah. And that is... yeah, that's the turning vane from Regalia's car. No surprise that's come off, given how hard he hit the gravel. Evans 4/10 down in sector 2. It's not a bad lap from Evans. It may just improve him, but it won't, because he'll pit. Now everybody, apart from Simon Trummer, is in the pits. And as I say that, Daniel Abt is out on track, leaves the pit lane and is rising the hill up to turn 2. Trummer is choosing now to go for his laps. The track is empty. There has perhaps never been a better time for him to attempt his lap. Evans, this a replay then up into turn 2. Oh, and hits that sausage curb on the inside and almost takes off. Just too much of a bite out of that corner. It's needed slightly later turn in. Trummer P26, 6.1 seconds off. He hasn't currently qualified. He's not within 107%. There is Daniel de Jong. De Jong currently is in P13, 1.022 off. It's a good position for the Dutchman. There is Jolyon Palmer, second to Cecotto. His teammate Riquelme is 12th. And there is Jonathan Palmer. Jolyon's Palmer, an ever-present and supportive part of his team, his entourage. Always there for advice. Very successful racer in his own right, of course. Latterly a promoter, owner of many circuits in the UK. Runs numerous championships. So as you've seen, Cecotto leads, Palmer is second, then it's Van Dorn and Leal, Nazar and Coletti, Marcello, Harrianto, Peak, Rossi. Those are the guys that I think pole is going to come from. Maybe this guy, maybe Evans can get it done as well. And now is as good a time as any to be out on track, as Trummer is showing. He's gone green in sector 2. Personal best for him. I mean, it's not brilliant. It's not going to set the world on fire, not by any means, because he's a 10th down on Berton, a 10th down in each of the first 2 sectors, in fact. And Berton is currently P24, so this will be good enough maybe for 25th, maybe for 26th. 26th. But at least he is now within 107%. And that is how close things are in GP2. The entire field at the moment covered by less than 2 seconds. 1.9 splits Cecotto to Trummer, first to 26th. And was that a spot of rain I just saw? Are these spots of rain on the back? Or am I imagining things? Perhaps I've been drinking too much Red Bull. But those grey clouds are up at the top of the circuit. At the moment it appears to be dry, but for how long? Daniel Abt out on track. Can he make his way up into the top 10? Can he challenge for pole? It would be a huge turnaround for himself and for the Hilmer Racing team. Over the line then for Abt. It's a 118.2. This will be the lap that he pushes. He needs something around the 119, sorry, around the 19.0 or the 18.9 for sector 1. 19.2, it's not enough. Quaife Hobbs right in the way. and that might have just held that back a little bit. Just over 10 minutes to go. Almost everybody's still keeping their powder dry, but I feel that within the next few minutes we will start to see everybody emerging from the pits, everybody making it out on track. And if we thought the first 10 minutes was crazy, the final 10 minutes promises to be equally so here in Austria. The first GP2 qualifying session ever at this track, this majestic track in the Styrian Alps. Felipe Nasr's out on track. Regalia's out on track. There is Abt. Nasr does well to move out of the way. But this isn't going to set the world alight. It's Cecotto at the top of the times, 1:15.312. That's the time to beat. This, the man to beat. Johnny Cecotto gives us a wave. Now there's a confident man. No pressure, no stress. Knows the job he has to do. And he's just going to get on with it. It's a different Cecotto this year. Marriage perhaps calming him a little bit. But oh, Mr. de Jong has spun through turn 1 on pit exit. Leal leaves the pits. I wonder what he did there. Because de Jong had just left the pits. Here he comes. Whoa! Juices it just a little early. And great catch by the cameraman to actually get that. Brilliant stuff. So that's de Jong. I'm sure de Jong won't be too thankful that that was caught on camera. There is Rossi. Can he take this pole back? He currently sits 10th, 0.8 seconds off Cecotto. But he has looked fast all day. Will it be Palmer? Will it be Van Dorn? Could it be Leal or Nasr? What about Coletti and Marcello, the two racing engineering teammates? How about Haryanto and Rossi, the Caterham teammates? They're running line astern on track at the moment. Rossi overtakes Haryanto. Nobody, though, through Sector 1 is getting anywhere close to the time they need. It has to be a 19.0 or an 18.9 through Sector 1 to be within even a shout of being competitive for that pole. So we'll keep our eyes peeled for that first sector. That will give us some idea over whether... Oh, and Rossi's run deep. So he's braked just a touch too late for that turn 1, and that's it. Lap ruined for Rossi. He'll have another few attempts, but this one is over. So who's the next one that will start a lap? We're going to get your Colettis, your Marcellos. Coletti just starts a lap. There is Coletti, behind him is Abt. These two have the pace to be super competitive. Ahead of them is Cecotto, still weaving, still on an outlap. What's Coletti's split for the first sector? 19.2, it's not close enough. And he runs nowhere near the apex. Scruffy from Stefano Coletti then. Cecotto gets out of the way. Abt does a 19.2 for Sector 1. Yeah, Coletti, Nasr, they're all 19.2s. No one's close enough yet to that critical 19.0 or 18.9. Air temperature has dropped 1 degree from 16 to 15. Coletti now over 3/4 of a second off. Wind speed hasn't really changed much, but I tell you what, the humidity has. The humidity has increased. A big jump in humidity up to 67, and that's going to make the air thicker at this altitude. By making the air thicker, you're going to apply more pressure down onto the car. That's going to put more downforce on the car, which in a straight line is going to hold that car back. That could be why we're not seeing such fast times through the sectors, as Coletti now runs deep through turn 1. What about Abt? Can Abt keep this thing going? Can he take a slipstream off Coletti? No, he's going to get straight by him. So here's a replay of Coletti running deep at turn 1. Abt's first sector is a 19.1. Marcello's first sector is a 19.1. We're getting closer. With 5 minutes left, we are getting closer. We are taking those final tenths and hundredths of a second out. But has the humidity risen too much? Is this air becoming thick? Is it applying too much downforce onto the car? Abt just under half a second off through 2 sectors. Marcello, meanwhile, personal best through sector 2, but can't get it done through sector 3. Does not improve, neither does Peak. De Jong, personal best through sector 1 of a 19.1. Abt rounds the final corner to improve from 11th. No, not quite. 4 minutes now. Oh, and Marcello's done a 19.0 sector 1. That's what we were looking for. That's that magic number. On board now with Evans. Look at him attacking the final few corners. A slow car ahead. That was Elinas. And Evans had to compromise his line hugely through there. Yellow flags are out. Over the line, Evans 12th only. But it is an improvement for Mitch Evans. Where are the yellow flags out? Tell you what, I think it's the final corner. Someone's gone off. Yellow flags are now in at the final turn. Oh, and it's Palmer. An uncharacteristic mistake from Jolyon Palmer. Meanwhile, Marcello has done a personal best through the 2nd sector. Raffaele Marcello to improve from his current P7. It's a scrappy penultimate corner. But has it been enough on the lap as a whole? Over the line for Marcello. 3rd, 1:15.449. This is it. Cecotto's now improving as well. Nasr goes personal best sector 1. 3 minutes on the clock. The times are tumbling. And the drivers are moving up. Can Cecotto hold on to pole? Can he improve his gap? It's 0.040 over Palmer at the moment. Here's Nasr on a brilliant lap. Personal best sector 1, personal best sector 2. And both of them faster than Cecotto, who holds provisional pole. Felipe Nasr to take that provisional pole back from Cecotto. Can't do it, it's 3rd. Cecotto then from Palmer and Nasr. Marcello 4th, Van Dorn 5th, then Leal, Coletti, Rossi, Pick and Haryanto. 2 minutes and 40 seconds. Rossi goes 19.0 sector 1. Peak goes 19.0 sector 1, and Rossi goes personal best sector 2 as well, just 65 thousandths of a second off. Peak, though, is up after 2 sectors. And Rossi has traffic in the form of Riccialmi ahead of him. I say traffic, Riccialmi's doing a similar speed, but it will unsettle Rossi's car unless he gets that slipstream down the straight. And Rossi to improve over the line. It's a 1:15.6, and it moves him up to 6th. Peak, meanwhile, is purple through the middle sector for the Campos driver over the line for pole. No, terrible final sector. Peak, 6th fastest, 1:15.608. Now Nasr, green in both sectors, 19.0 sector 1, 33.0 sector 2. Tidy. Just the final corner remains for Felipe Nasr. He uses just enough of the curbing. Down the line, 15.3 to beat. It's a 15.3, but it's 3rd. Wow. Cecotto to Palmer, 0.040. Palmer to Nasr, 0.006. Under 1.5 minutes remain. Peak has gone 19.0 in sector 1 again. What's Negrão got? Could he be the fly in the ointment? Quaife Hobbs. Wow, what a lap from Quaife Hobbs. Jumps up to 12th. Negrão, 14th. 1 minute left. Who's looking fast? Oh my word, Adrian Quaife Hobbs has just done a 19.0 in sector 1. His personal best, one of the best we've seen so far today. Riccialmi jumps up to 12th. Cecotto's done a 19.1 sector 2. That's the best of anybody in the top 10 at the moment, other than Coletti. Coletti goes purple sector 2 after a 19.1 in sector 1. Can Coletti pull this out of nowhere? Stefano Coletti is currently 10th. There he is. 2 corners left for Stefano Coletti. Can he do it from nowhere? P10 at the moment, Coletti, 15.3 to beat. Over the line. No, it's 6th for Coletti. But what about Van Dorn? He too has gone purple in the middle sector now with a 32.9. Nasser comes across the line. Quaife Hobbs improves to 11th. Nasser doesn't improve. Van Dorn or no one. Oh wow, little slide. Spots of rain on the camera as well. Stoffel Van Dorn to take pole. No, it's not. It will go. Or will it? At the moment it looks like it's going to go to Cecotto, but Marcello's just pumped in a 19.0 for Sector 1. And he's up through Sector 2. 0.096 to the good for Raffaele Marcello. This is it, lad. 2 corners to go, standing between you and your first ever GP2 pole position. Oh, he's run wide, and he shakes his hand in frustration. Was it the Caterham that unsighted him? Was it his own mistake? He is furious though, whether it's with himself, or with that green Caterham car ahead of him. Either way, Marcello is spitting. He will have to make do with 4th, but Coletti's gone purple middle sector, and over the line, he takes 4th from Marcello and demotes his teammate to 5th. Or was it possibly those spots of rain that we saw through these final couple of corners? There's that Caterham. I don't think the Caterham was large enough. Well, there is that Caterham there. Oh, was it? Maybe. Maybe. A close run thing. But it's Cecotto. Johnny Cecotto on pole, and this incredible season continues for Johnny Cecotto as Abt pulls over to the side of the track. Cecotto has scored in every race since the opening round in Bahrain, in which he didn't score a point, but he's scored in every race since then. He's taken a race win, and now Johnny Cecotto is back on pole position. The first driver in GP2 history to take pole here in Austria, and it is Johnny Cecotto, a 1:15.312. Scored in that incredibly exciting opening gambit of the session. Palmer 2nd, Nasser 3rd. Those 2 championship rivals locked still in a bitter conflict. Coletti 4th, Marcello fuming, either with himself, with the Caterham, with those spots of rain, who knows, but it's 5th place for Marcello. Van Dorn in 6th. Peak in 7th. Wonderful performances from all 3 of the rookies there. Evans is 8th. Rossi up in 9th. Will be delighted to finally get a good qualifying under his belt. Riquelme 10th. Negrão, a surprise in 11th, but a brilliant session all the way through for the Arden man. Then Leal in 12th, and he'll be gutted with that, having topped this morning's session. Haryanto 13th. Quaife Hobbs, you know what? He just needed a good qualifying session underneath him, and he's got one today. Much improved from Adrian Quaife Hobbs. I wonder what he'll be able to pull out in the race from 14th. Elinas 15th, Kanamassas 16th, Izawa 17th, then Markelov. Hey, that's a much better qualifying from him as well. Abt 19th, Sato 20th, then Binder de Jong, Regalia, who continues to struggle in 23rd, Trummer 24th, 25th, and 26th, Venezuela GP Lazarus cars of Daly and Berton. And look at that, the entire field covered by 1.3 seconds. And I tell you, that gives you an impression of just how dark it gets when the clouds roll over here in Austria. But there are no clouds in Johnny Cecotto's life at the moment. Already a race winner, back on pole position. Cecotto has the pace, and Cecotto has the pole. What a great session here in Austria. Thrills from start to finish, and I tell you, if qualifying was that exciting, what will the race hold in store for us tomorrow? It's been a joy bringing you this first day of action from the Red Bull Ring. This is your man that's on pole, Johnny Cecotto, with a great drive in the Trident racing car. Palmer brilliant in 2nd, Nasser brilliant in 3rd, but neither one of them had anything to answer for Cecotto or for his Trident team. So brilliant stuff from the Red Bull Racing Ring. A brilliant first day here, and we look forward to the race tomorrow. Thank you for joining us. Be sure to join us for the race. But for now, though, from all of us here in Austria, it is indeed a very warm goodbye.
Watch all 6 Sky Sports channels on your mobile and online.